Hello and welcome to Project Mach. I am single group 45 and this is my Mars rover. Here is Project Mach, which has 9 main components. This is the chassis, the suspension system, the wheel, the axle, the arm, the mast, the camera, the solar panel, and finally, the plutonium enclosure, which acts as the power source for this rover. Project Mach undergoes 4 main motions that I will cover in today's video, as well as in 3 of these motions, there are some important tolerance fits that are important to consider when manufacturing this robot. As you can see, we're taking a 360 of Project Mach, and first we will discuss the mast motion of the rover, which includes a sliding up and down and a rotation that allows for a 360 of all images around the rover. The mast has 2 different fits. First is a local transition fit for the top part of the mast, which is H7K6 with a basic size of 175 millimeters. This is a very rigid fit that allows for rotation. The connection between the middle and the bottom of the mast is a sliding fit of H7G6 with a basic size of 200 millimeter diameter. This allows for it to easily move up and down, just in case the camera needs to lower to make the rover a smaller size. We now have the motion of the arm. As you might be able to tell, in this position, the arm doesn't reach the bottom or the ground. However, this is when the suspension system is in its tallest state. When in its normal state, which is much lower, the arm could easily reach the ground and is able to pick up anything in the surrounding area. We now have the suspension system. The basic size for the wheel and axle is 80 millimeters, and I used the H7K6 fit, which is a very rigid fit. The connection between the axle and the piston will have a basic size of 80 millimeters and a close running fit of H8F7. Then the connection between the pistons and the piston base will have a sliding fit of H7G6, which is a basic size of 150 millimeters diameter. These are much more loose fits that allow for motion, which is like the rotation of the wheels and the moving up and down of the pistons in the suspension system. We now have the plutonium enclosure. The connection between the plutonium enclosure and the chassis is a loose running clearance fit of H11C11 with a basic size of 350 millimeters in diameter. As you can tell, this is the loosest fit we have, as I would not like the plutonium enclosure to come in close contact with the chassis, which could lead to danger, as the bumps on the road would knock the plutonium enclosure into the chassis. I also decided to have the plutonium enclosure stored inside of the chassis, as I thought it would look ugly on the outside of it. However, you can still access it as it moves outside of the chassis. Here's Project Mach once again. I feel that the most impressive part of this rover is the use of the suspension system, as there is a very uneven surface on Mars, and with the suspension system, it will be a much more smooth ride, which allows the robot to undergo less wear and tear, especially on these components, which may be fragile, although I designed them to be as strong as possible. Thank you for listening to my presentation.